The best way to build microservices is to build a monolith, a structured monolith, and then convert it gradually into a microservice. If you look at this application I built, it's just one single application, but I can tell you it's a structured monolith because you can see that each of the packages represents a potential microservice. For instance, this package I call it courses, departments, students, and teachers. So this is a structured monolith, and I'm going to show you how to migrate this structured monolith into 4 different microservices and hook them up using client-side discovery. So for now, let me just run this application, and then so that we can make sure that everything is working perfectly well, and then we go ahead to migrate. If you are joining me for the first time, you can just hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. So at this point, you can see that the application started at port 8080, as you can see right here. It started at port 8080. So if I go to localhost, http localhost at port 8080 and go to /courses. So /courses actually, you can see it comes to the courses service, which is just a string I'm returning to show that it comes to that package, a class in that package. So if I go to departments, you can see it comes to department service, welcome to department service, as you can see right here. If I go to students, it says welcome to student service. All right, so at this point, this is one single application running at port 8080. How do we gradually migrate? How do we transform these applications from a structured monolith into microservices? So let's go ahead to do it. The first thing I would like to do is to first add a discovery server. The discovery server is simply another application, but it's very easy to build. So let's just create another application and add the Eureka server dependency. So I'm going to choose Spring Startup Project, and at this point, I'm going to call it profile server. Okay, so yeah, so let's call this profile server. So we actually will have a dashboard where we can see this application actually running. So I'm going to add Eureka server, so because I want to use this application as the discovery server. All right, so we have the profile server application up. I think it's trying to import the necessary namespace. Let me just clear out the screen. I'm going to actually stop the client from running, and I'm going to stop this so that we start from a clean slate. All right. So I'm going to open the profile server at this point, and I'm going to first go to the main application class, and I'm going to add enable Eureka server. So I'm going to come here and simply say add enable Eureka server, and I'm going to save everything, and I'm going to import the necessary namespace, import Eureka, enable Eureka server, and that is fine. All right. So another thing I would like to do is to change the port where the server is running. The server will be running on port 8761. So that's the port I would like it to run on. You can also use something else, but I recommend you use exactly what I'm using, 8761. And there's also other settings like spring.client Eureka fetch registry, Eureka fetch registry equal to false. So basically, I'm telling this server that there is no other server in the environment. I'm going to say spring.client.Eureka Eureka fetch registry, and I think let me see, I think I have them written down somewhere. Let me see. There are 2 settings that needs to be set. I think it should be Eureka fetch registry, and the next one should be register with Eureka. So Eureka client fetch registry. So it's going to be this. All right. So at this point, we've set up the server, the Eureka server. So if I run this profile server now by saying run as and choose Spring Boot application, I should be able to see the server dashboard, and I could see one single monolith application registered with Eureka. So if I go to port 8761 HTTP localhost port 8761 at port 8761, I should be able to see the Eureka dashboard at this point. But at this point, there is no instances running. As you can see, under application, no instances. So if I go back to run the profile client application, I'm going to just say run as Spring Boot app. Of course, it's going to run in port 8080. That is fine, no problem. That's a client application. We'll be able to see this application register with Eureka server as one single application. Oh, actually, before it registers, we are going to add the Eureka client dependency. So let's go to Maven repository and get the Eureka client dependency. So I'm going to go to Maven repository and I'm going to search for Eureka client, and so this is it. Spring Cloud Starter Netflix Eureka client. I'm going to use maybe this 2.1.2 copy, and let's put it into our client application in the pom.xml. Just go down to somewhere in the dependency section and just put it right there. All right, so I'm gonna save. The next thing you want to do is to go to the main application class and just enable enable Eureka clients at this point. So just say enable Eureka client. Now the step-by-step on how to do all this is in my website. If you look at the description box, you'll find a link to the website where I have all the step-by-step on how to do this. All right, so at this point, if I run the client application, it should be able to register as one single monolith application with the Eureka server at this point. So now the client is going to be running at port 8080 as a monolith application. And if I go back to, let's just close this one. Let's go back to the Eureka server dashboard. If I refresh, I should be able to see it's coming as unknown, right? And it's down. I don't know why. And it says registered instance down. I don't really know why. All right. So now we have to do a few things. The first thing we want to do is to ensure that the client application is running on a port that is not port 8080. So what you are going to do is to tell Spring to choose to generate port numbers randomly so that we will not use a default port number. So to do that, I'm going to say server.port equal to 0. So once you say server.port equal to 0, Spring is going to use generate a port to use at that point. So now you can also say application.name and give the application a name, but this time we want to create microservice made up of 4 different applications. So how do we assign name to the application? So let's keep this pending for now and talk about something called Spring Profiles. For this application to split into 4 different microservices, we need to create 4 different profiles, and that is the concept of Spring Profiles. So if we go to the applications, what we are going to do first, let's go to this is fine, enable Eureka client. So let's go to the courses controller. We are going to be saying that the profiles are the names of the application. When the application runs, it's going to use a particular profile which represents the name of the application. So to do that, you simply add the profile annotation at this point and give it a name. In this case, this is courses. All right. So the same thing. Do exactly the same thing. If I copy this and paste, and departments. So do exactly the same thing in all of them, but change the names to represent the name you want the application to have. Departments. And the next one is going to be students. So this application is going to split into 4 different microservices having the names of the profile. So this case is going to be teachers, right? I'm going to save everything. So now this application is running, having 4 profiles, but now we still have to go to application.properties and set the name of the application. So if I set the name of the application to application.name is equal to, let's say, students, it doesn't actually represent the name of all the applications, because in this case we'll be talking about only one single application. So we need to, I think, application.name, I think I'm getting it right, spring.application.name. So if I save and I run the client again, it's actually going to be one single monolith application having named students, as you can see when we start running it. Now I want you to take note of the ports. The port is going to be assigned automatically, and you can see the port should be, let's see, port 56465. I think I captured it, port 56465. Port 56465, let's see, port 56465. So if I go here and refresh, you can see that the name of the application at this point is students. And if I go to port 56465, port 56465, and I go to /courses, it's also port 56465. Maybe I didn't get the name correctly. Okay, so I think I didn't get the name correctly. So for some reason the name doesn't actually show up here anymore. Port 56465, right? So port 56465. So it should be port 56465. Localhost. Okay, so it's not going to work at this point because we've actually assigned profiles to the application. So here we can see it's running, the application is up, but we can't access it because we need to specify a profile, all right? So let's go ahead to talk about how to set up the application name at this time. Now I'm going to use, in the application.properties file, I'm going to simply use an expression that says assign the name of the application to be equal to the name of the profile, or the name of the active profile. So in this case, if I say something like spring profiles.active, spring profiles.active, I think I'm getting it. Let me see. Let me just make sure I'm getting it correctly. I have it written down somewhere here. Spring profiles.active, I think that should be. Okay, so spring profiles.active. So I think I got it correctly. So at this point, if I save it and rerun it again, actually nothing much will change except that the application name now will be the name of the active profile at the time. So let's run it and see. So all right, so it starts up. Let's see if we can capture so it doesn't work at this time because we have not set up actually the profiles. All right, so we only assigned the profile names, but we've not configured the profile to run. That is why we are having an error that says creating Beam, Cloud, Netflix, the external configuration. Okay, so have no active profile. So meanwhile, if we go to the Eureka server, it is gone. So what I'm going to now do is to set up a configuration, a run configuration, so that when this application runs, it can use one profile at a time. So to do that, I'm going to simply go to run and choose run configuration. Okay. So we have two configurations here. We have profile client and profile server. I'm going to actually remove the profile client so that we can split it into 4 different profiles. So I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to create a new profile by clicking on this place, and it says new configuration. I'm going to call this profile students or courses. Let's start with courses, and I'm going to apply. So you can see, actually I'm going to just call it courses config. So configuration for courses. So this is courses config, that is fine. The main type, you just click on search and select the main type here. The name of the profile is courses. And now an important thing you need to do is to come to the argument, the VM argument at this point. VM argument, and enter this expression, the spring dot profiles dot active equals courses. All right, so it means that when this application runs, the only thing that is going to run is a package that contains the courses profile. Okay, so if I apply and save, I can actually do the same, create 3 more profiles. So let me just copy this so that I'll not have to type it several times. So let me create another one. So this time I'm going to call it students config. So now we are splitting this application up into microservices at this time. So it's going to be students. All right. So Spring Boot tab, and then click on search. Choose the default one, and the name of the profile is students. All right. So apply, and let's create for teachers and for departments. So click on new here again, and of course choose this default one. So I'm going to create for students and go to the VM arguments, and I'm going to just paste what is there. And this case is going to be students. Am I missing out anything? No, apply. And finally, I'm going to create for teachers. So I have students is okay. Okay, so we have new configuration. Wow. Okay, department. I don't think I've created department. Departments config. Departments config. So it's gonna be departments. And go to Spring Boot. I'm going to. It's gonna be departments. All right. I'm gonna apply. So we have department config at this point. Let me just cross check and make sure everything is fine. And one last one, I'm going to click on new, and this is going to be teachers. Teachers config, and select the main to be this, and the name of the profile here is going to be teachers, and go to the VM arguments and also paste this, and I'm going to call it teachers. Okay, apply, and now we've set up all the wrong configuration. If I close now, that is fine. So maybe just permit me to go back to the configuration again. So if I go back to run configuration, so I can choose the courses config at this point and just click on run. So when I click on run, it's going to now run only the application where we have the courses profile. In this case, is going to assume, or is going to be taking the courses. Okay, so let's see, we have a problem here. So let's see, okay, so if I go to the main application, I don't know, enable Eureka client, that is fine. Okay, I think everything should be fine. So if I refresh this at this point, no instances available. So let's go back and run courses config. Let's see. Instance configurable caused by. spring.profiles.active. Could not resolve placeholder spring.profiles.active. Okay, so okay, I think I'm missing out something. So let's go back to the application properties. Spring profiles.active. Is it spring profiles.active? Let's see. Spring profiles.active. I think it's correct. Spring profiles.active. So let me just check and make sure everything is fine. Spring profiles, is it spring.profiles.active? Let's see. Spring.profiles.active maybe. Let me try to run it again. Let's run it again. Okay, so the name is actually spring profiles.active. So this spring.profiles.active. So if I go to this point at this point and run it, you can see it's running only one profile, the courses application or the courses microservice at this point. Now let's fire up another one. So I'm going to go to run and click on run configuration. Let me choose something else, department at this time, and I'm going to say run. So it's going to also register it as a new microservice at that point. So let's see, hopefully everything goes perfectly well. So again, you can look at the console, you might see the port number at this point, then you'll be able to use it to assess the particular application that is running. So I'm going to refresh at this point. So you can see that there are two of them, departments. So basically, this is how to split up application from a structured monolith to microservices. So just a recap, the first thing you want to do is to create packages that represent, where each package represents a microservice. And then you want to add the Eureka server if you are using Spring Framework. And then you also add the annotations Eureka server, Eureka client, depending on whether you're in the server or in the client. Then specifying the application properties that the server.port is going to be 0, so that Spring is going to generate ports automatically. Then set the application name, spring.profile.active, to use the active profile as the name of the application. And that is how it works. I'd like to thank you for viewing. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. Please also like and share this video and leave me a comment to tell me how it has worked for you. If you have challenges, let me know as well. I'm going to help you solve it. So we see you in the next lesson.